Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new tutorial on this channel. So today's tutorial is focusing on the ruffle organza off shoulder sleeve, which is being sewn on an off shoulder strap, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. So right now you can see I have my basic long sleeve. This is my off shoulder basic long sleeve, as you can see right here, and the sleeve has been divided according to the bicep, the elbow, and the 3/4 and the full length. So if you don't know how to make an off shoulder sleeve, I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. I have a video on how to make a perfect off shoulder sleeve. So what I simply did, or what I want to do right now, is to first of all measure the length at which I would want the strap that will carry these ruffle sleeves to be. So right from my off shoulder sleeve, I'm going to cut out exactly what I have here. So as you can see right here, you can see I have my strap, and the sleeve itself is on fold. As you can see it's on fold. So I've already cut out my strap. So how did I cut this strap? I folded my pattern, and I folded my fabric, as you can see. So my fabric is on fold, as you can see right here, and I placed my pattern, okay, and added my seam allowance. This is exactly how I cut it. Okay, so I folded my strap. So as you can see, this part is on fold, and I added 0.5 on top of this sleeve. So now if I have to open this strap, this is what I have if I have to open the strap. And if you look at this, you can see I hair stayed it. Okay, so make sure it's hair stayed, and then you can have your full strap. So what I have here is also what I have here on this strap. Okay, so if I have to place it like this, you can see I have exactly the full strap. This part is on fold and this part is open. Okay, so now the first thing I want to do now is to go to the machine. I will turn the strap to the back part, and I'm going to sew the strap. Can you see? I'm going to sew it right now at 0.5 inch, then turn it around and give it a good press. So I'll quickly do that and bring it back, because this strap you see here is going to serve as the basis of the... Alright, so now you can see I've sewn the strap. Can you see? So everything has been sewn, as you can see right here. So now I am going to fold this to get the midpoint. So this is actually the midpoint. So you can see there. I'll use my ruler to mark it out. Okay, so from the midpoint, I'm going to measure from here to here. I have 6 inches. So I need 6 of my the straps to fall in here and 6 to fall in here. So I'm going to mark half. I'm marking half inch, or let me do 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. Okay, so these 3/4 lines are the lines at which I'm going to sew these particular straps. Can you see? So you just mark from the midpoint, you make marks of 3/4, 3/4, like that. Okay, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I might decide to make one more 3/4. From here to here, I mark another 3/4, and I will make my mark. Okay, so now these lines are the lines I'm going to sew my organza ruffles. I'll also mark the same 3/4, 3/4. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. I'll also make 7 lines right here. So once I make the 7 lines, I'll come in with my organza ruffles. So So this organza, the organza fabric you are seeing here is a quality organza fabric. So make sure you get yourself a quality organza fabric. So I'm making use of a length of 18 inches. The length of this organza is 18 inches. That is how I want the height, because I'm going to sew this and have it unfold, as you can see. So now I have it unfold. What I have now is 9 inches. So as you can see on the thumbnail right now, you can see the height of that particular organza ruffle. So I'm using 9 inches. By the time I sew half an inch, I'll be left with 8.5 inches. So I'm going to the machine now. I'm going to sew this as one piece, okay? Unfold. I'll sew one piece of it and turn it around. So I'm using 2 yards of organza here, okay, to make this ruffles. So I will use two yards. The ruffles are going to stand, okay, after 6 inches. It's going to stand another 6 inches. That is how I want it. Another 6 inches, like that, like that. So for each standing, we have 6 inches. Another 6 inches will make it 12 inches. Okay, so if you need 6 of it, it means you need 12 times 6 for one side. If you need 7 of it, 12 times 7. Okay, because for each ruffle we are making is 12 inches. So 12 times 7 is going to give us 42. Okay, but if you want 6, that is 36. And a yard of organza is 36 inches. So since I need 6 on this side or 6 on this side, I'll be making use of 36 inches times 2. That is 1 yard for 36, and 2 yards will be 36 times 2. So to cut the whole story short, you need 2 yards of organza, and that will be good for you. So once you get 2 yards of organza, you cut 18 inches of the length, okay, and place it on fold. So I'll go to the machine now. I'm going to sew these 2 yards and turn it around, give it a good press, then bring it back to show you how to sew it into these straps I just marked right now. So I've gone ahead to sew my organza fabric, as you can see. So this is 9 inches. Now I kept it on fold and I've sewn 0.5, and I have 8.5 left. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around, as you can see, to the right side. So as I've turned it around now, I have my whole 2 yards of organza. So now I fold it and leaving the part I sewn in between. Okay, please don't place it at the edge. This part I stitch is supposed to be at the midline, as you can see. So now I'll go over to the machine. I'll start from the beginning to sew my organza strap. All right, so like I was trying to explain, okay, so this is how you need your strap to be. Okay, so this is the longer part and this is the shorter part. So I come in with my organza fabric. Like I said, you need to keep this at the center. Can you see I placed it at the center? All right, so before we sew into this strap, remember I told you to leave this at the midpoint. So once you have it at the midpoint, then we need to finish up the edges. We have so many ways you can finish up the edges, either by serging. Okay, you can go to your to the weaving machine and weave the both together if you want. But if you don't want, you can just fold in and fold in, okay, with a matching thread. Okay, so once you fold in, what I'm trying to do here is to make sure that I neatly finish up the 2 edges before I start. Okay, so I folded it in, and now I'm going to run my stitches on them to hold it down before we start sewing it to the strap. So I'll run my stitches on it gently as I'm moving and folding, as you can see. So you can see the midpoint, the part I stitch is at the midpoint. Please take note of that, for that is very important. So you can serge, you can sew on it. So I'm going to repeat the same with a matching thread, please. Okay, so this is a tutorial, that's why I'm using this thread. So I'm going to repeat the same thing I did right here now. I'll do it for the other part as well before we start sewing it to the strap. Right, so now you can see I've neatly finished the two edges of my 2 yards of organza fabric. So now I'm going to place the parts I stitched in between. Okay, so I'm going to sew like this. I'm going to turn like this at the midpoint. Okay, so you have to find the midpoint between here and here, and that is where you place the midpoint of this. So I'm placing the midpoint and I'm sewing on the strap. I'm sewing on the strap. Okay, I'll back stitch. So once I sew on the strap, I'm back stitch. The next I will do is to come over to the next line, still on the strap. Okay, so all right, so now you can see I've stitched the first one. Okay, I want you to actually pay attention to how you can achieve this sleeve perfectly. So once you have laid the first one, okay, of course I'm supposed to sew it at the first one, okay, but it's like I missed it, but there's no problem. But I believe you understand what I did here. The first one should be sewn like this. Okay, so once the first one is sewn, the next one you'll be measuring 6 inches. I looked at that 12 inches is actually very big. Okay, it might not really stand to give that effect. So what you do is measure from where you stitched the first at 6 inches. Can you see? So at 6 inches, half of it is 3 inches. So I'll just fold from the 3 inches, half of it. So once you fold it to this point, can you see? So you'll be having 6 inches all together. So before you sew, make sure you have it lay on top. Can you see? So I'm sewing it exactly on top of the one I already stitched. Can you see that? So once you sew that, I'm going to make another 6 inches. Okay, so you have seen this one right now is at the 6 inches. I have everything at 6 inches. So the next, I can see I've sewn the first one. So the second one, I'll also lay it to match up with what I have here. Can you see that? So I lay it to match up with what I have here, and I fold it back to also match up with what I have here. Can you see they are aligned? So once I have it aligned, I'm going to sew at the 0.75 line. Okay, so at this point you need to be careful and you need to be creative. So I'll back stitch. Okay, so I've sewn that part and I've back stitched. So now I'll go over to the next one. For the next one, I'll also bring in my organza. I'll also match it up with what I have already, and I'll bring it back, and I'll sew at the next 0.75 line I marked. So I'll come in between where I have the strap, and I'm going to sew, and I'll back stitch. So you can see what we have here is forming the M lines. Can you see that? So once that is done, I'll keep repeating this process till I exhaust all the lines I made on my strap. I'll exhaust all these lines. So the next one, I'll also match it up. Can you see? I'll match it up So when you are matching up, try and make sure you have it equal, so all your ruffles will be equal. I'll take it back and match it back to the next 0.75 line. Okay, so I'll keep doing this till I get to the end. So once I get to the end, I'll show you the final outlook. So now you can see I'm done sewing in that manner. Okay, so you can see what I have in between. I keep sewing at that 0.75. I'll fold up at 6 inches, that is 3 inches. Can you see? So make sure when you are doing this, it needs to be even. Okay, so now you can see I have about 1 2 3 4 5 6 left. Initially I told you you'll be making use of 2 yards, but I noticed that 2 yards is not even enough. So since I used 2 yards for half, it means you also need another 2 yards for half. Okay, if you are going by the 3 inches spacing. Okay, so you can just get 4 yards and 18 yards by width. Okay, the length 4 yards, 18 yards by width, to be at the safer side. Okay, so but at least you have an idea on how to sew these beautiful ruffles right now. So make sure you use a matching thread so you don't see the lines of this thread on your organza fabric. So I have 6 more remaining. Okay, so if you are making this, make sure you do that. So at the end of it, you can see I folded in. Okay, at the end of it, you have to fold in and stitch. That is at the end of this part. Just like we started by folding in and stitching, that is also how you are supposed to fold in and stitch. Okay, so now I'll be pinning this on the dress form on the part I did. Okay, I already have the ruffles. I'm going to pin it on the dress form for you to see now. All right, people, so now this is the beautiful ruffle effect we have for that sleeve. So you can see the sleeve is actually looking nice, beautiful, as you can see right here. Okay, so if you wish to make more ruffles, all you need to do is to increase your organza length, okay, to have the full ruffles. So right here you can see the beautiful ruffles. So at the end of the day, all you need to do is to stitch the strap to your dress. Okay, to stitch the strap to your dress to form that off shoulder sleeve. Okay, so this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. I believe you learned a lot from this tutorial. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you for coming to this tutorial once again, and see you in my next video. Bye.